Hey guys, I've got some yummy dinner ideas for y'all this week. We are going to start by making a taco lasagna, and per usual I'll have everything linked down the description box for everything. You're going to start by browning your ground beef, and then you're going to mix together a half a cup of taco sauce and a cup and a half of salsa, and then you're going to mix together 15 ounces of ricotta cheese, 1 egg, and about a teaspoon of oregano. And once your ground beef is finished cooking, you are going to drain it and then add in about a packet's worth of taco seasoning and 2 ounces of cream cheese. You're just going to stir it around in there until it is completely melted. And you're also going to drain and rinse a can of black beans and throw that in there as well, and just stir it all together until, like I said, the cream cheese is all melted and your meat mixture will be ready. Okay, now I'm going to start assembling. You're just going to pour, about a third of your salsa mixture down on the bottom, and I'm using the oven ready lasagna noodle sheets. And then you're on top of that, you're going to put in your ricotta, or a little bit of your ricotta mixture, and then you're going to top that with some of your meat mixture and then some shredded cheese. And you'll see I had to get creative with how I placed my noodles, because I could have swore I got another box of them at the store, and I did not, because I knew I didn't have enough. But thankfully I had a few in this box, so I could at least make this. But if you have the proper amount of noodles, you're going to just repeat these layers like the first one I made. I decided to pour a little bit more of the taco sauce on top too before I baked it, because we just absolutely love that Trader Joe's taco sauce. And in the recipe I used up the little bit of the Taco Bell taco sauce that we had in the fridge, which is good too, but we just love that stuff. And then you're going to cover it with foil and bake it at 350 for 45 minutes. And I did not have to broil it. You'll see, how it looks when I pull it out, but if you're doing this the proper way, you might need to. And here it is all ready, and I've let it cool down a little bit, and you'll see I'm kind of like slowly trying to get this out of here. I knew it was just gonna fall apart or something because of my uneven noodles, but it didn't. And my husband said he wasn't so sure about the ricotta, which I honestly wasn't either, going into this, but it makes it, the cream cheese and the meat too for me, but this, I highly, highly recommend it. You could even, your next Taco Tuesday, I know some people just do variations of taco stuff, this would be a great idea. Now I'm just going to make the good old sausage and potato skillet. I know I've made this before on my channel, but it is a favorite over here when I have a bunch of potatoes that I need to use, and I seem to always have a couple of these sausage links in the fridge, but this is always my go-to because it is so simple. And you'll see I'm just dicing up that sausage. I am cubing up, what is that one? 5 potatoes. You know, I don't ever do a certain amount. I just do what I need. And then I have diced up an onion, and I'm going to put a little bit of oil and butter in my skillet. And I'm going to toss in the onions first. That's how I do it. Cook them for a couple minutes and then throw in the potatoes. And the seasoning I use on this is Uncle Chris's steak seasoning. And I usually always put a little bit, you know, when I put the potatoes in, and then I'll add some after I put in the sausage, you know, just a little bit extra. And sometimes I'll taste it at the end and add a little bit more, but you're just gonna cook it up until all of the potatoes are done, until you can poke a little knife in there and it goes in smoothly, which you will see me do at the end. My family, I know this is like the second or third video I've done this in, but they think they're so funny. And so I decided to get them back, and I'm gonna put their little bits in my videos. This is my my middle child. But I'm making unstuffed peppers in the Instant Pot. I have started by dicing up 1 red bell pepper, and I'm actually doubling this recipe, but I didn't double the peppers because I ended up saving that other one over there. But anyway, I'm just dicing it up really small, and in my Instant Pot, I'm going to start browning my hamburger meats and onions, and also halfway through you're going to throw in some minced garlic. About halfway through or so browning your meat, you're going to sprinkle in some salt and pepper, and then once it's all cooked, you're going to drain it and then add in your red bell peppers. And then, like I said, I'm doubling this, so just 1 can of diced tomatoes, your tomato sauce, and then beef broth and white rice. Oh, can't forget the Worcestershire sauce as well. I think it's like 4 tablespoons doubled in. I was thinking I was putting too much in, but it was delicious. So once you have everything in there, you're going to give it a good stir, and then you are going to cook it for 10 minutes. and then you're going to let it naturally release for, you're going to cook it for 5 minutes and let it naturally release for 5. And you'll see here when I first take it off, it looks like soup or something. I remember the first time I made this, I was like, uh-oh. But then once you go to stir it, you'll see here it looks more normal. But I just topped this with some cheese, and it is so good. If you love stuffed peppers or just peppers in general, I mean, it's more than just the peppers that just seems to be the star of this show. This is a really, really good and so easy, a really easy Instant Pot meal. Okay, so I threw this one together on my own. I had this just regular old pork loin in my freezer, and I had thrown it in the fridge to thaw. Not sure what I was going to do with it yet. And so it was ready, so I had to come up with something. So here I am just covering it with oil, curry powder, salt, and pepper, and I'm going to cook it in my air fryer. I can't remember exactly how long because you put the little temperature thing in that. So 400 degrees, I think, until it is to temperature. Or if you don't have the one with the probe, just look up how long to cook a pork loin in the air fryer. But I also had some of that Trader Joe's yellow curry sauce. I picked it up last time I was there, and I don't know if y'all have had them, but their sauces have never let us down, and we really like curry, so I figured I would grab it, and I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. So as you can see here, I'm cooking the pork in the air fryer, and then I'm gonna dice up some red bell peppers, and I will be putting them in the air fryer too, you'll see, after the pork is done, as well as toasting some sliced almonds. I was thinking it would give it a nice little crunch because, the peppers are going to be a little bit soft. And then I just warmed up the yellow curry on the stove and poured it over top. You will see I sliced up this pork into strips. It was really good, but dice it up. Make it a little bit smaller. That's the only thing I would do next time, because you're pretty much cutting it up or taking bites of it into strips and eating the rest. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been much easier if it was diced up. And I just made some white rice, and this was so good. I was pretty proud of myself for this one. I know I have made a few other, curry stuff, but this one was delicious. And if you like curry and have a Trader Joe's, their jarred yellow curry is pretty dang good. This was the definition of tenderloin. It was so good, and I'm sure most recipes will tell you, but when you take this off or out of the air fryer, you're going to cover it with some aluminum foil, and I let mine rest for probably 10 to 15 minutes, at least 10, to hold all those juices in, and this was like melt in your mouth. So good. The air fryer makes really good meat, I've noticed. Like, it's always pretty juicy. Now I'm going to make some quote awesome chicken. I have had this saved on Pinterest for a while, and I had a couple of these sauces I wanted to use up, so here we are. I have 3 chicken breasts, pretty large ones, so I'm cutting them in half, throwing them in a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to pour, it's supposed to be a jar of each, but or a bottle of each, but this is close enough. You're gonna pour in a bottle of honey mustard, teriyaki, and buffalo, and you're gonna marinate it. I don't know about a time. I'm sure it didn't need as long as I put it in there, because I put it in there, it was like 8 o'clock. Yeah, about 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and then we made it for dinner the next night. So it marinated for over 24 hours, and it was so good too. Like, I wasn't sure how this is gonna be, but you'll see with this grill, this Ninja, the Smart Grill or whatever, it makes making meat so much more fun for me. But anyway, you see here, you're just gonna squeeze all the air out and rub it all in there and toss it in your fridge. And here we are. Of course, you can do this on your stove. You can do it in the oven, a regular grill, but I am spraying mine with some nonstick spray, which I should have done with the pork. You might have noticed I completely forgot, like, it matters. And you're just gonna put it in here until it is 165 degrees. And while my chicken was cooking, I also had a couple of zucchini in my fridge I needed to use, so I busted out my mandolin slicer and went to town with that. And we love this stuff. Like, I guess it's basically zucchini chips. I don't know, but you'll see that I think 350 degrees. Yeah, 350. And I will be trying to get them, like, I had to overlap a few of them, you will see, but you want to try to do that like as minimally as possible so they can like crisp up. But on a pan, I have sprayed it with some oil, and then I'm going to put these zucchini chips on there, and I'm going to spray them again and sprinkle them with some Tony seasoning. And typically I prefer shredded Parmesan, but I didn't have any, so I decided to just go out on a limb and put some grated Parmesan on there, and they turned out great. I'm pretty sure it was like 20 minutes at 350, because I remember like adding 5 minutes at a time. You're just gonna eye them. When they start kind of looking brown, you know, like a little bit crispy, that's when they're done. And these are so delicious. That little spicy kick is our favorite part. Here is my chicken all done. I just love how this thing like seriously makes you feel like you're eating chicken straight off the grill, but it was easily made in your home with a temperature probe. I don't know, I could rant and rave about that, but I served this with some just Kraft macaroni and cheese, the zucchini, and this was an amazing dinner. Everybody loved all of it, and this is gonna conclude this video. I appreciate all of you, and I will see y'all in the next one.